Good morning, world. I am introducing you to a phenomenal human being whom you'll remember for the rest of your life. I'll tell you just a little bit about him, and the conversation is going to reveal much more. Darryl McNeil is our guest this morning. He's got 22 years in high level marketing and built a career as a marketing executive, leading brand strategy, positioning, and growth initiatives with a sharp focus on results. So by the time this conversation's over, well, I don't want to overextend the promises you're making, Dell, but I'm getting the sense that people are going to leave with an access to marketing that they didn't have before, a view of what they believe about marketing and sales that may not be true, that
Mhm.
you might be able to expand and shed light on. So,
Sure.
Darryl served as a professor at NYU. He strengthened his ability to break down complex concept into clear, actionable guidance that people can actually use. And you can expect that out of today's conversations. And nowadays, Darryl, if you love coffee,
That may be true.
you might go to a cafe near you and find Darryl McNeil sitting, appearing to be alone at a table with a sign next to him that says no, complimentary real estate advice. And so Darryl is a realtor, a residential realtor in Metro Atlanta. You can find him anywhere at Darryl in Demand. He supports diverse business leaders and business owners who want direct answers, clean execution, plus equity protection. His approach to working with his clients is anchored in who he says he is, and you're going to get a little bit of who Dell is. And so, Dell, it's so great to have you with us on the Leadership Huddle. As a business owner and entrepreneur, I welcome you
Thank
and I thank you for the contribution that your presence already is to our listeners. Welcome.
thank you, Saurel. I appreciate the introduction, and I'm looking forward to having some good conversation today. And it's just good to be here. I'm grateful to have the conversation.
Yeah. Gio and I are fond of saying, and as I say, Gio, why don't you come on into the conversation so we can create this together, right?
Yeah.
One of the things Giovanni and I are fond of saying is that when you look at a business or you look at an enterprise or you look at a professional and you see the results that are happening in that enterprise or in that profession,
Hmm.
it points to who that person is, whether they're aware of it or not. So, by way of introduction, I'd love to for you to say a little bit about you in
Hmm.
terms of who you are and what got you, like who or what got
Hmm.
you to be who you are, because I'm clear that who you are, that you're aware that you are, is who's serving your clients. And before we hear about your marketing prowess, I'd
Yeah.
love for the world to get a little bit of you.
Yeah, I appreciate the question. So, I'm originally from Philadelphia, born and raised there by way of New York City. I spent some years there. I have a marketing degree and my background is in marketing. For me as a person outside of my career, I live my life based on one very important principle that I hold very dear. And that is if I was observing myself from 10 feet away, would I be proud of me? And how I handle myself, how I handle situations, how I give back, how I support others. That's a staple. That's just the golden rule. Is if I was observing me, would I be proud of that person? Would my parents, for lack of a better term, I know everyone says that, would be proud of them, right? But there's an integrity that I walk with, right? There's a pride and a sense of class and self-respect that I'm like, I can't let that go. I can't let that go. So that's kind of my golden rule that helps me stay grounded, stay present, and everything I do comes from that space.
Yeah, and it's not like you're wearing it like a
Yeah.
badge of pride,
It's
like I'm better than others kind of feel
Oh,
to it. It's more, what I'm hearing is that there's a place where you ground yourself. Now,
yeah.
are there parents, ancestors, we might call them,
Hmm.
or people you look to and admire to say, here are the traits of who I am that make me proud of watching myself sitting 10 feet away observing myself.
Yeah. I
I'm
do have
I'm
a
curious.
philosophy about that. Yeah. So my personality, disposition, overall aura, appearance, gravitas, whatever you want to call it, comes from sort of four principles. One are they're taken actually from public figures as I know them. So the first one is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who stood for civil rights, right? That all of us should be treated equally and in a way that is human, right? So I bring that to every interaction I have, that I am you, you are me, we're the same, but somewhat different, right?
Mhm.
The other person I bring to the table is Tom Ford, a fashion designer. He has a sense of class and calm, right? That you don't see every day, that you don't see often, right? So I bring a sense of calm to situations and into my life that I can help others, right? The third person I bring is Idris Alba. He's British, he's very sophisticated, very calm, cool, and collected, right? And then the last one is actually Michael B. Jordan. He has a youthfulness, although he's getting older, that he's still fun and not so serious, but still sophisticated. So when I think about my personality and disposition, I'm always anchored in one or all of those four people as I interact in the world.
So there's who you are informed by that. So now that gives you an insight that had you write the question that anchors today's conversation.
Yes.
What's one belief
Yeah.
you're defending out of pride, not evidence? Now, um, when a question like that is asked, I have the tendency of maybe evade the question by not saying a belief that I'm holding out of pride.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
put you on the spot.
Yeah.
When it comes to the business that you're in,
Yeah.
and I want to go in that angle because I'm thinking there are beliefs that business owners hold
Absolutely.
and are
Yeah.
defending, maybe not out of pride, but just out of, hey, that's what I know. So
Unknown
in
caller.
you in your profession, and in your life, what's one belief or some beliefs that you found yourself
Hmm.
prior to anchoring yourself in the four people you just mentioned that you were defending without evidence? What do you see there?
That I wasn't ready, right? Sometimes in business, I think we're waiting for everything to be perfect, right? We're waiting for everything to be just right, right? We fear that if we move too quickly, too soon, too fast, that we will ultimately not be successful, right? So as we think through what we're holding on to out of fear, we fear that we're not ready, but we have no evidence necessarily of that, right? We haven't tried to know whether or not we're not ready, right? So we're holding on to something that we may not know to be true, right? I'm quite ready to open that business, but we don't have any evidence of that, right? So sometimes,
So in your own experience,
yeah,
when you weren't ready,
yeah.
how did you deal with that? What's the trajectory of or the journey you took
Hmm.
to come from, oh my God, I'm holding this belief
Sure.
and it's not real? What assisted you in making the shift to now being the owner of your own uh, real estate firm?
That's an interesting question. Sort of what changed my mind, what caused me to act, right? And the short answer is nothing's ever going to be perfect. I spent 20 years in marketing and in marketing analysis and strategy, so I will overthink anything, right? Every different way, 360 different ways, and what could happen, right? But ultimately, you have to have a belief enough that no one's ever fully ready. It's
Mm.
simple as that. No one ever is fully ready. You cannot predict the future. You don't know what tomorrow will bring, right? So are you ready enough?
Yeah. And in
All the
that
reasons you brought up.
sense,
Yes.
in your own experience, I'm picturing there's that leap you took,
Yeah.
even as you were conceptualizing all of this in your mind. You said, well, I'm not ready, but you know what? I'm ready enough. And then
Ready
you
enough.
you
Yeah.
did something that you didn't think you could do. Could you share that story with us and give us a sense of what what got you
Yeah.
here now as the realtor that you are?
Yeah, so I had a really successful marketing career, but I wanted to be my own boss. I wanted to control my own time and have an entrepreneurial spirit, and have that on, for the world, right? I also wanted to build wealth for my family as well, right? I'd already been an investor in real estate already, and I'd been an agent, but I had not totally taken the leap, right? And I had this conversation with myself around when is the right time? And I had a good friend tell me there's never a right time. There's just the best time for you, right? So I sat down with a pencil and piece of paper and I wrote down all the reasons why it wouldn't go well and all the reasons why I would, because I'm an analytical person, right? And the list of why it could go well was four times as long as why I couldn't, right? So why would I focus on the 20% that could go wrong when I can focus on the 80% that could go right? Is it perfect? No, but I'm more ready than I think, right? So being a tangible thinker, right, as I am, I needed to write that down. And that's an exercise I recommend for anyone is just look at it in black and white, not emotionally. And once I understood the values that I brought to my business, it was time to get off the indecision bus and jump on
Yeah,
to get stuff going.
get off the fence, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
And and
Yeah,
uh, and that choice has rewarded you in a way.
it
Uh,
has. It has, yes.
I want to invite Gio to come in. I'd love to hear, Gio, what you're hearing and anything you'd like to ask Darryl before we go into now. How did that all shape your business?
Hmm.
Come on in, Gio.
Okay, thank you, Saurel. Darryl, and Saurel, I have so many directions in which I want to ask questions, and I didn't want to chip in yet to see where you wanted to, so that I can settle my question in the direction you wanted the conversation to go. But since you're bringing me in, I have like two directions, or I have two questions where I have curiosity. So I'll start with this one and see where we go. Um, in the context of the business you're in now, right?
Hmm.
And marketing, which is the your where you build a career for a while, and innovation that is
Hmm.
now it is now bombarding people, you know? There's so many ways to market things, you
Yeah.
know, and you can't quite stay behind, otherwise, otherwise you could be missing the boat, right?
Hmm.
But there are some foundations. What would you say in that context of the belief I have that doesn't necessarily have evidence that keeps my life small, and the foundational practices that you see that all of us entrepreneurs,
Hmm.
we need to make sure we're doing for the expansion of our businesses. How would
Hmm.
you I want to combine both questions, basically. That's what I'm trying to do. What would you say, what are some good practices for us
Yeah.
to consider when it comes to letting go the beliefs and also using some good marketing?
Yeah. So I think the first thing I would recommend is know who your client is and know who you are, right? Sometimes we don't always know who our client is and we don't always know who we are, right? So the first thing about marketing is you want to talk to a specific group of people, right? So talking to everyone doesn't get you anywhere and talking to one person one-on-one is sales, right? And those are different organizations. Those are different sort of disciplines, for lack of a better term, right? So when I think about things out of fear, we may fear that we shouldn't reach out to XYZ type of client, a luxury client, a builder, an investor in my world, right? We believe they'll never work with, me. I'm inexperienced. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm this, I'm that. But once you know who your customer is, that takes away some of that fear because then you can obsess, for lack of a better term, their needs, their wants, and service them at a high level, right? But you have to know whom you're talking to, and don't assume you can't service them. That's the fear. Assume you can, just know more about them. And then utilize marketing as a way to communicate that you're the person who can solve their problems, right? So if an investor, for example, in my world, wants to flip houses, I have to turn around and know what his pain points are, right? And his pain points is finding homes. I can do that for him, right? I shouldn't assume I can't. I shouldn't assume he won't like the ones I want. I find for him. None of that. What does he need? And then I turn around and make that my professional mission to understand his mind, understand his wants, understand his needs, and then service him at the highest level possible, right? Let go of what you don't know or what you think he will know. Change your mindset to I can do this. What does that person need, and how do I fulfill those needs for that person or that client? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it was beautiful, actually. Here's, I loved it, actually. And I want to tell you why I loved it. Uh, I loved it because, and I wasn't like looking for an answer per se. I just really love your answer, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
And it gave me an opening for myself as well, because what I hear you're saying is, um, I really liked it because there is the foundation of expansion in business is know your client. That's the foundation, right? That would be the free shots in basketball. I mean, you've got to practice that over and over and over. You got to practice knowing your client over and over and over. And then, but then you said something which is, but then also you got to know yourself. And then
Yes.
I thought, oh, well, that's a slippery slope because when do we ever know each other, right? When do I ever know myself? I don't even ever. However, you did say something that's kind of cool that was an opening for me, or how I heard it was knowing myself about who I am for that client. And and it's like what you were pointing to, like you're going to go serve that person. So I am someone who's going to go serve. So I could let go the belief that I'm not enough to serve them. I could
Mhm.
let go the belief that I don't know their pain points. I do know their pain points. I could let go the belief that they won't like me because I don't have enough experience. I could let go
Mhm.
all of those beliefs and actually pay attention to what the client needs and wants and serve, right? And provide a service, right? And so I thought, yeah, that takes away from the limitations of there are those big clients
Mhm.
that I will never get because I'm not as cool, I'm not as smart, or I'm not as knowable, or all of those beliefs without evidence that you say.
Mhm.
Yeah, Gio, that was like the perfect question, right? And standing on your shoulders and taking one word out of what you said, Darryl, which just left me very free. You said obsess
Yes.
on the needs of your clients. And
Yes.
it's like all of a sudden it painted this picture of a world where I'm this person obsessed with these needs. And I know these needs. And if I focus on those needs,
Yeah.
learn more about them, serve them not so well, serve them again and improve and keep going. By obsessing on the needs and not on me,
Yes.
I end up expanding into the expert they want and need. So that was liberating for me.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that Gio mentioned that I didn't touch on that I should say talk a little bit more about is knowing yourself, right? I'm a big fan of personality tests, believe it or not. I'm an analytical person, right? So I've taken the DISC survey and I've taken the Myers-Briggs survey, right? I've taken them every 5 years for the last 25 years, and I've never changed, right? So when you're working through supporting your ideal client, you have to add in what you do well as a part of that, right? So there's a combination of what you do well and who you are, where your strengths are, and then utilizing those strengths to serve the client, right? So if you're an extroverted person sitting at a desk all day will probably drive you crazy. So that's not probably the best and highest way for you to serve your clients because you won't be able to do that very well. So it's a combination of knowing whom you are from a personality perspective and from a working perspective, right? And then utilizing those skills and talents to service those clients, as we would said earlier, obsess at a very high level. So it's
Yeah.
sort of two sides of the same coin.
That's a really insightful thing to say, Daryl. What I'm hearing you is this, right? Sometimes when people hear the question, "Who are you?"
Mm,
Like who you are, like what the way we're speaking, they would tend to go to a philosophical level. And
yeah,
what you've done is taken the question, "Who you are," from a business standpoint and boil it down to the characteristics that are predictable where you are. So if you were to illustrate for us,
yeah,
what would you say is the answer to the question? Because you use the word analytical, right?
yeah.
But if you
So
were going to use different words and make it really plain
yeah,
and answer the question, so who is Daryl for his clients? What would you say?
I am a real estate problem solver for entrepreneurs and small business owners and high level executives. Period.
And then there are those characteristics of who you are that you do really
So
well that
and I
come into play that you marry to that. What are those?
So I am analytical, as we spoke about, right? I'm a planner, right? So I'm looking at not only how people feel, but what do they need financially. I use real estate as a tool to support them in their life and in their business, right? I also utilize real estate for long-term financial gain. Those are all very practical things I bring to the table, right? And then after I get that done, then I layer in some of the emotional and intangible things, right? Some people do it in the reverse. They go for the feeling first. I go for the practical first because feelings can change, but support, financial support, well-being, long-term financial gain for you and your family, investment strategies, those are concrete things we can work on now and affect some of the other intangible things in a different way later.
Got it. Got it. Well, we're 24 after, and it's always fun
Yeah,
to hear what others in the room want to say to you or ask you in terms of their access to marketing and serving their clients
yeah.
more effectively and in a way that leaves them enlivened. So, questions, comments, Gio, anything else on your end?
Yeah, I'm really, really loving it. Really loving the conversation. And since you give me the mic again, I was wondering, Daryl, you said at the beginning, or Saurel said at the beginning, that one of the things that, and I don't know if Saurel said it in a casual way, but I just wanted to check in, that you meet with folks over coffee to solve a need, the need of your clients, right?
I do. I do.
And if we look at it from a marketing strategy,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And understanding the needs of your clients. And then you said something else that I thought it was really great. You made a distinction between marketing and sales
Right.
is one-on-one,
Yeah. Yeah. That
and marketing is not. Marketing is not sales.
no, no.
Um, how, since you're someone with experience in marketing, how did you sort of strategically thinking, how did you arrive to
Sure.
having coffee with your ideal clients?
Hmm.
And how did you attract them to meet with you, to have coffee with you? How is your marketing strategy?
Yeah, this is probably the number one question I get weekly, right? So we spoke a little bit earlier about knowing who you are, right? I am a
Mhm.
coffee drinker. That's number one. So we can so the call to the idea of having coffee with someone else is automatically my disposition, right?
You like
Number
it?
I do. Acts as
Yeah,
service, right? So then
I
I put
love
my
it.
thank you, thank you. So then I put myself in areas where I know my clients will be. So I don't just pick random coffee shops, right? I'm picking them based on the clientele that visit those coffee shops, right? I engage with them passively, believe it or not. The sign is there and I am working, right? So I am targeting my marketing audience while being there and available to them. Sales, which can be off-putting sometimes if done incorrectly, is me approaching them, right? Because they don't want to talk with me if they're not interested. Me being a resource, again, me being of service to you should you need me at this coffee shop that you see me in often is the actual perfect marketing opportunity. I am there. I am being myself. I am open to helping you solve complex real estate problems should you need me.
And how do you market them?
It's literally just a sign. It's two signs actually. One that says complimentary real estate advice. If you're looking for it, you'll see it. If you're busy, you won't, right? So it's not overbearing, right?
I
And
love it. On social media or where?
at different coffee shops around Atlanta.
Oh, at coffee
At
shops. You
actual
actually
coffee
get
shop,
sent
yes.
on the coffee shop.
Yes, yes. I'm sitting there working, so I'm headed there after this call, right? So I usually focus in the
Love it.
Marietta, Smyrna, Mapleton area. I'm at three specific ones, right? And I'm just there. So there's two signs, literally a physical sign that's in the car actually that
Love
says
it. Yeah.
complimentary real estate advice. You
Yeah,
can book
yeah.
us, we can talk there, or you can book some time. Or I
So
have a
random people buying coffee will sit with you.
That's right. Just like it's
Love
office
it.
hours, just like if it's office hours at a college.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so that's number one, and that's sign number one. Number two is I have a link to for you to scan, the consumer to scan and say, hey, how much is my home worth? So they can actually check their own home value without me, right? But it's a resource for them to know,
At the
right?
coffee shop or
At the
on,
coffee shop, it's on the sign. You can do it on your phone, right? So I'm
so
serving. So
you're
I'm
you don't necessarily empower, or do you empower this marketing campaign, this strategy through social media? Hey, I'm
I
gonna
do.
be at such
I
an
do. I do.
coffee
So
shop,
yeah, so I every month I publish where I will be. I'm at a different coffee shop 6 days a week, 5 days a week. And if you follow me on social media, I have a 245-day social media challenge where I'm visiting coffee shops 245 days in 2026. So if you don't know where I'll be, but you want to speak with me, you can visit me at the coffee shop. No harm, no foul. If you don't show, I'm gonna be there anyway, right?
Daryl, and I know like time is kind of running, and the marketing strategy is generating business. Like it's
It
like
is. It is. So on average, I get about
from like random
yeah. And
human
see,
beings buying coffee,
it's almost too simple, right? It's almost crazy. So where I'm focused in the coffee shop, I'm sitting where people are either buying their coffee or waiting for their coffee.
right? Right?
You
No, it's
have these two.
traffic.
You have these two signs. One that says complimentary real estate advice, and the other one says, "Do you want to know how much your home is worth?" And they're
Yeah,
just sitting
love
there.
it.
And then people tend to strike up conversations with me. And not everybody, is a client. They're
Of
literally
course
asking,
not.
hey, what do I have to do to buy a house or to rent or whatever their real estate question is. And I just help them with no strings attached. And oftentimes they want to continue the conversation offline, and we do that.
And it generates business for you. That's really
It
great.
does. It does. And one of the coffee shops now is in an apartment complex, right? So
Mm.
that sign that says how much is your home worth changes. And then it says how much home can you buy for the amount of rent you're paying.
Oh, you're sneaky.
So, I didn't do anything. I'm just helping you understand how where your money goes because I'm a strategist.
Yeah, no, I love it. So
So if you're
funny.
paying $3,000 in rent, you can buy a $400,000 house, right? Just
No shit.
helping, just
Oh,
notifying you. just notifying you should you want to know. And if you don't, then
Love
you
it.
get your coffee and you go. And I
Brilliant. I love. Joelle has her hand up, but I'm gotta go very soon. I might not be able to stay, Saurel, for the ending. But here's what I want to
That's
say
okay.
to be complete. Um, Darryl, you are fresh of breath hair.
thank
Not
you.
fresh hair, the other way.
I appreciate that.
So I love your creativity and your being comfortable knowing you allows you to sit down at a coffee shop and serve your clients and you understand their needs and this amalgamation of loving coffee, loving my clients, obsessing about their needs and serving them, it created a brilliant traffic for the business. So thank you
Appreciate
for
that.
being that way and teaching us that.
Thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
for me at least, telling me to loosen up, relax,
What is for
time.
us, what is for us is for us.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I love that. Great work, Darryl. Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
Gio, thank you for bringing the breath of fresh air. Your questions always go in the right direction, and I appreciate you, brother. Joel, come on in.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's your question, Joel?
My question is for a person, let's say if a person isn't the best at, let's say, self awareness, or they're coming into that, but they are good at what they're doing in their career and job, but now they realize there's a pivot that needs to be done because they feel the purpose in another direction, but
Mhm,
it's going so well in the direction that they're in.
mhm.
What would you suggest for a person like that? It's like
Ah,
sometimes some people may feel guilty or may have some doubt in perhaps what they're feeling in the depths of their heart. So, what would
yeah.
you say?
I appreciate the question, Joelle. Thank you. So I was that person last year, quite honestly. I had a really successful marketing career. I'd always wanted to own my own real estate group. I always wanted to do investing and build long-term wealth for my family, right? But I had a cushy, corporate job, and why would I walk away from that, right? So the first thing I think you got to do is be prepared, right? No matter what, right? Be prepared and own your decision making. So if you're looking to be an entrepreneur, know that this is a tough, tough road, right? And you need to be prepared for that tough road. Not every day is a great day. There are no guarantees. However, on the other side of it, all these successes are all yours, right? So it's a crude term, but it's kind of no guts, no glory. That's a sports term kind of thing, right? So I would say be prepared. Number two is, own your life a little bit, right? You get to control what you do, right? Number three, even if you have a corporate jobs aren't going anywhere. Give yourself some time, give yourself a year, prepare for a year of entrepreneurship or whatever. Banking industry isn't going anywhere. The law industry isn't going anywhere, right? Teaching isn't going, like, they're not going anywhere, right? So if you choose to try something and strategically, taking your emotions out strategically, that didn't work, that's okay. You had a great career before, right? 1 year, 1 year I not teaching is not going to stop you from being a teacher for the next 25 years, if that makes any sense, right? The schools will be there. The children still need to get taught, right? So I would say follow your heart after planning first, and you can always go back. Do not plan. That's a huge point out. Do not skip the planning. But once you are planned, have a strategic roadmap and then give yourself some time. And then from there, decide. That's what I would do.
That's
Sound.
so good. Thank you.
Go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the question, Joel.
Yes.
Daryl, time flies by when you're having fun, doesn't
I knew you were going to say
it?
something like that. I just knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap up, but before we wrap up, pretend that you're standing on the biggest stage ever,
Yeah.
and you want to say something that would leave you heard,
Yeah.
and that would leave the people listening really served. What do you want to say, sir?
Wow. Deep question. I would say that everyone that I will in that room of all people, I would say you are enough. That would be the first thing I would tell everybody is you are enough. The second thing I would tell people is anything is possible through hard work, dedication, patience.
Yeah.
The th- the third I would say is know yourself. Not everything that is for someone else is for you. You're running your own race.
Yeah.
And the last thing I would say is the first thing I said, which is you are enough.
You are enough.
That's enough.
And that's enough said.
That's enough. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, Darryl. Thank you,
You're welcome,
Darryl.
my friend.
At the very beginning of this whole thing, we had a very good friend of ours who joined. Her name is Patty Dabrowski.
Hmm.
And Patty is this feisty woman who says, I'm a renegade. And she goes, if you want to be a renegade, this is how you live life. You love hard, you laugh out loud,
Yeah.
you eat well, you have fun,
Yeah, I like that.
you sleep it off,
Hmm. Okay.
and you move your body.
That's right. That's
And
right.
last but not least, our very good friend, Dr. Monica Ogando, added to this and said, you know what? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. This is our show for today, folks. And you heard it right here from Darryl McNeil. You are enough.
You're enough.
Yeah. Until next time.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Saurel.